Hi, today we have two special guests who are the Person of the Year, Mr. Kilhoen and Mike Smith. Fernando, at yours.
Hi, Mr. Smith. How was your childhood?
Hi, I was born in the Washington, D.C. My father, James Smith, was Secretary of Defense in the USA, and my mother died when I was 4, so I really don't know her, but I know she died by his favorite scarf, strangled. My father was always working, so he called me a nanny to raise me, but I discovered the nanny was weed addict.
And when did you realize that your nanny was a junkie?
When I was 10 years old, on a night I was thirsty, so I decided to go pick a glass of water, but I saw her with a lot of things really don't cool, so I go back in my room.
And what happened to her?
I discovered when I was not 4 for 28 years old that she died by an overdose of drugs.
For the next question, I want to know which study did you did in your life?
I studied in the Georgetown University, in technical policies. And after I did the training to go in Federal Air Marshal, and that's it. And I became a Federal Air Marshal after that.
And why did you decide to enroll yourself in the Federal Air Marshal?
Because after the event in 2001, they created that, and I wanted to save lives, so I decided to go in that profession.
And can you talk a little bit about your professional life, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, at the age of 21 years old, I became Federal Air Marshal. So after that, I do 100 mission, and I be promoted to Senior Federal Air Marshal. And I was only 25, so I was the first at this age to be Senior Federal Air Marshal.
And why did they promote you at this rank at a young age?
Because I was excellent. I did 100 mission without fail.
Oh, that's great. We know that your father has been absent when you were young, and your mother died when you were 4. So, who was your inspiration in your life?
My inspiration is my nanny, cause she tell me a lot of things, and I think without her I will not be here today.
And what is your state now in your life? Are you married, and did you have child or anything else?
I'm not married, but I have 2 child, and I changed job because I wanted to stay with her, because the risk to die in this kind of job is really high, but now I work in an office, so I think I may not die and be present for my child.
That's it for the interview. Thanks you, Mr. Smith, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Kill.
Hi.
Can you talk a little bit about your childhood?
Sure. I was born on January 28 in Detroit, Michigan, from a police officer and a nurse. When I was 4, my father has been killed in a hostage taking. So my mother, my little sister, and I decided to go in Houston because the rest of my family was living in Houston. When I was 11, my mother has been killed by a brain cancer, and my sister and I need to live in the street because all the rest of my family was dead. When I was 17, I met a big person in my life. His name was Joshua Hamill, and he was a soldier, and he bring my sister and I under his arm to survive and give us a home.
So what did you do after leaving the street?
A year passed since I met Josh. and I decided to be just like him, a soldier. So I enrolled myself in the US Army. It was a very difficult process to be a soldier because it was a very difficult training and I wasn't trained for that. And 2 years passed since I was in the army, and I got a call from Josh, who sent me that my little sister Alice has been hit by a car and lost a leg. I was totally destroyed, and she was the only member of my family who was still alive except Josh, so I don't want to lose them. And because of that, I decided to enroll myself in the US Tactical Force, and it was very difficult and a lot more difficult than just the US Army. So it was very prolific for me because I was after that I was very strong and I can do everything my general said me to do.
What did you do after the army?
I left the army at 30 years old and I met my wife at 25, so I was already living with her, and I decided to build my own company of private security with Josh, and with the help of some scientists, I decided to create a prosthesis for a person who lost a member of her body because my sister wasn't able to pay for his own prosthesis, so I want to make a prosthesis at a very low cost and very easy to control. And we start the first model on the market last year, and we did a lot of money with. So, and we decided to give formation to some little student who want to be soldier of just in the security system at the University of Washington.
What did you prefer in your actual life?
Personally, I prefer to not be in the front of the battle because I have 2 sons now and I don't want to die, because when my fathers died it was very hard to me to pass away from this, and I don't want my son to live this now. And with my company I can work on project and help people to live in security while I'm at my office and having fun with my son. And with the company now we're working on a new project, and with the prosthesis we already put on the market now, we're making a lot of money and we save a lot of life. So I can say the fact is that I'm not in the army is the best part of my life now.
Thank you, Mr. Owen.
Thank you too, it was a pleasure to meet you.
That's it for the interview. I'm Dennis Prager.